Hello, everyone. I wanted to first say happy holidays, and I do mean like collective holidays for everyone. And I know this time of year can be difficult for some people who do not have family, and so I want to extend some kindness to you guys before I jump into this video's topic, um, because I have a very, of course, critical eye about this situation. Currently, I am in Maryland with my family, so that's why everything looks kind of different in the background, and I don't have any dolls with me, so you're just gonna have to deal with seeing me and my little Christmassy sweater, um, and just kind of come along with the topic that I have today. So I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with what's going on with Reborns.com, but the owner, Dave, he's been the owner since the very beginning, as far as I'm aware, and the site has been around, I think 20 years. I honestly don't know how long Reborns.com has been around. But the most important thing, it's been around for a while, as long as I've been aware, and I have been in the Reborn community since 2012. So it's been a while. Like, this site is nothing new. Dave is nothing new to this site. So he is the owner, and he is not a Reborn collector or artist. He actually got into this website from his other website that he had made that I think now is no longer a website. So I'm not sure exactly how he made the jump from his old website into making a website for the Reborn community. Either way, reborns.com is for me a great platform because you know what you're going there for. It's not like Etsy or eBay where it's hard to police, and by that I mean usually if there's a scammer that they find on reborns.com, you message Dave, he removes the scammer. Whereas if you're trying to list on sites like eBay or Etsy, they're so big and so many sellers of all different types on there that it's hard to remove a scammer or get the company to remove the scammers. So that's why for me reborns.com is really the place that I direct people to, if they're trying to look out what's available in the Reborn collecting world. Or if they're trying to learn about new artists, I will always direct people to reborns.com because there's so many artists on there that have reviews. And then, like I said, it's a legitimate site. It's really the safest option, I think, for people. Of course, you can find Reborns on Etsy and eBay sometimes, but like I said, there's just another level of protection when it's something like a small company with just someone who happens to own the website, the selling platform. Um, and like I said, reborns.com is for reborns and reborn related items. So it's not like you have to dig through a bunch of unrelated things to find a reborn doll like you do on Etsy and eBay. And Mercari is one of them as well. So that's just kind of some background about like what the site is. Currently, reborns.com, you can list new, like as an artist like myself, you can list your newly created dolls on there, or you can list clothing items, blank kits. If you no longer, like if you ordered a kit from McPherson's, you got the kit, you don't like it anymore, you can then resell the kit on reborns.com as well. And then supplies like bottles, um, glass beads. People sell lots of Reborn related items on that site as well. So it's not just finished Reborns, and it's not even just new Reborns. So a lot of people will sell their collection dolls on that website. And so that is what's going on right now. There's a big problem with the collectors that are reselling dolls on reborns.com. And it's causing a whole thing in the reborn community because the collectors feel like the artists don't respect them or don't support them. And that is solely because of what's currently happening on reborns.com. So Dave is looking to make some changes on the website. He's been changing a bunch of things as the years have gone by. And a lot of the changes have not been welcomed or even wanted. I don't really know why he changed some of the things because I don't recall anyone asking or wanting him to change some of the things on the website, so I'm not really sure why some of these changes occurred. But it's making the site less less easily able to be navigated, meaning you can't just go on and search. It's not quite as easy as it used to be. And we're talking about this site has like thousands of dolls on it, and even more if you include the ones that are already sold. So it's not just like a small amount of dolls. And because of the changes he had made, it's making it more complicated for people to find the doll they're looking for. Like for me, even as a artist on the site, I find it quite hard to search on the website if I'm needing to look at, like, for example, what I love to do on reborns.com as an artist. I like to see other versions of kits before I purchase a blank. Like, if I have never seen many options of that kit being made, instead of going to Google, a lot of times I will actually try to search the kit name on reborns.com and see if I can see other real life examples, non prototype, because most dolls don't look like prototypes. I want to see like real life examples of that kit being painted and how it can look. So usually I'll try to go on reborns.com and search the kit name. Now it's not as easy as doing that anymore. For some reason, it will bring up unrelated things. Like if I put in, for example, the name Saskia, which is a kit by Bonnie Brown, if I put in Saskia, sometimes it won't even pull up all the Saskias that were sold on reborns.com, or it'll bring up kits that have nothing to do with the name Saskia, and neither does the nursery name have anything to do with Saskia, or the artist's name has nothing to do with Saskia. So the whole search function on reborns.com is broken, basically. And so he's trying to do things now in 2024, moving on to this new year, to improve the website. And that's where the conflict is coming in, because he did a poll, and vastly people were saying, as artists, we do not want the pre-owned dolls, so people reselling their collection dolls, to be featured on the main home website of reborns.com. Meaning there's so many people that are reselling dolls that it's taking up room from artists like myself who are just posting a doll they made, a brand new doll. And reborns.com was originally supposed to be for artists. It was not until I think much later where they started allowing pre-owned dolls, so secondhand dolls. It wasn't until later, I believe, that that started happening. And now the homepage of reborns.com is getting so overwhelmed by secondhand dolls that it's causing conflict with brand new dolls. Like, I will post a doll, a brand new collection, a brand new doll that I just finished. I will post it on reborns.com, and then within like an hour, it's pushed off the home screen because there's so many other dolls that are being added onto the home screen. So many other like pre-owned dolls, alternative dolls. So Dave's idea, is to make a separate tab. Instead of just everything being on the home screen, only home screen would be new dolls, and then another tab would be pre-owned dolls, secondhand dolls, and then another tab for like alternatives. This to me makes the most sense. I don't really understand why people are so offended by this idea. I mean, I'll get into what people are saying about why they're mad about this. But for me, it's such a stupid argument, because reborns.com really wasn't for y'all in the first place. Most of these other sites that I mentioned, like Etsy and stuff, is where people were reselling. Well, more specifically, eBay is what was originally for reselling, because you don't see, like, if you go to a car lot, like a dealership, typically the new cars and the used cars are separate things. Like, they're not all together in one lot typically. So why are we having all the dolls together on one homepage when they're all not the same? They're not all created equal, if you know what I mean. because once a doll leaves the original artist, anything can happen to that doll. And so it's not fair for our us as artists to have our original work, our brand new dolls, being lumped together with dolls that could be in a smoking environment, could have been destroyed by one, two, three owners in, and it's just not fair, um, to be all lumped in one because they're not all on the same playing field. So that's how I personally feel about it. I don't think it's fair that we would have to continue this route of lumping everything together on the home page, because why? Why are we doing that? But people are upset because right now on reborns.com there's only one membership price. And so they're saying if these collectors to have their dolls featured outside of their nursery page or whatever they want to call it, um, you have to pay a fee, a monthly fee, to have your doll show up. So the argument that the collectors are having is that they feel as though that they shouldn't, if they're going to pay the same fee, they also should be on that front page as well. And I understand that, and I don't really get why he would make them pay the same monthly fee if he does do the new tab where it's separate. And for that, I will say this is probably something that he will have to figure out. These are all things that have not even happened yet. And when I say people are fighting and arguing and freaking out and yelling at each other over something that hasn't, a change that hasn't even occurred yet. This is like a thing he's thinking about doing. It's not set in stone. That people are acting like changes can't be undone for whatever reason, which is really really confusing because it's his site. First of all, he doesn't have to listen to any of us, and it's very very kind of him to be listening in the first place and thinking about how he can make it better, because the real fact of the matter is there's no way to please everyone. Not everyone's going to be happy with whatever solution he comes up with. It's impossible to make everyone happy. It really is. So the fact that he's even willing to try to listen and try to come to a sort of a middle point to make both collectors happy and artists happy, um, I give him props, because with the amount of backlash that he's getting, I would be ignoring everyone at this point and just doing what I think is best for my website, honestly, because he ultimately does make money off of the memberships. And honestly, like I said, I would be so done with everyone yelling at him, calling him all sorts of things, um, taking screenshots from his replies, taking them out of context. I would be so annoyed. But yes, so I don't understand if he plans on keeping the membership price the same for all people who have an account on that website. I don't see, and I don't like thinking of how that would play out. So hopefully he won't do that. Hopefully there's going to be different levels of membership pricing. Not really sure. Um, but that's the main thing. And then collectors are feeling like the artists are not appreciate what they're contributing to the community. And to that, I would say it is not like the chicken and the egg like analogy. Whereas what I mean is the chicken and the egg is always like what comes first, the chicken or the egg. And this in this scenario, people are trying to say that reborn collectors and artists are absolute entwined, and that there's no beginning or end. There's not one that's more important than the other. And to that, I want to say, first of all, I appreciate my buyers, my customers so much, but I'm going to be flat honest with y'all. It is not on an equal level. And what I mean by that is, come on, y'all. If there's no artist, there is nothing to collect. So that's what I don't understand what this whole argument is. Yes, we need our buyers. We do need our buyers, but our buyers need there to be artists more, because then there's nothing to buy. That's literally like this art form started off art first, meaning people were reborning factory like the Behringer dolls for fun first, so the product came before the buyers. So Reborn's dolls came before there was a Reborn community, a Reborn collector. There was just few people out there that were making these dolls and that were not really making them for a profit to even begin with. And then it's grown into now a whole market, but it started off with just people making art for not any other reason than to make art. So the chicken and the egg analogy just doesn't work here when the art definitely came before the buyer. So that's why I'm like, for me, it never makes sense to say that we're on the same kind of like it's an equal playing field as of importance of what we need here. For me, I would continue to make a few dolls every now and then, even if I wasn't making a good profit, only because like I said, I like making these dolls. It's not my only source of income, but I appreciate my customers. So a lot of the collectors are freaking out because they think that we're not appreciating them in their contributions to this community, and it's not so much that um on my end and the way I'm viewing artists. What they're saying is this art started with us as the artists, and we would like our platforms to reflect that, because a lot of times collectors, and again, I'm including myself as a collector because I also collect. I'm not just an artist. So maybe I do have a unique perspective here. But a lot of times I've seen where collectors will resell artists' dolls, and this has happened to me and it's hurtful, where they will make a big profit off of a doll that they have done nothing to. Meaning, I will sell someone a doll for $400, and I've seen that same doll, untouched, nothing's changed, resold for $600. They don't even add clothes to it or anything like that. And so for us it can be very hurtful, and that you now expect to be able to stay on the same homepage as us when you're not actually doing anything to get a profit, or you're not doing anything other than reselling what you already purchased. So I'm curious on your guys' thoughts. If you've seen some of the thread, you know what I'm talking about. Reborns.com, like the forum part of it, has been crazy for the past few days, ever since he put up a poll to see what people want to do with the website. And another thing I will add is, yes, there is another site that's trying to compete with Reborns.com, but I will never ever recommend that site because of what it is called. I'm not going to say what it's called in this video. You guys can figure out that on your own. I've talked about it before. I will never recommend anyone use this site because the owner knowingly named it what she named it. And not only that, if you type it in wrong, it will redirect you to a how do I want to word this so I don't get flagged by YouTube? An adult entertainment website. So this site that's trying to compete with Reborns.com, if you leave off the S on the website, or if you accidentally type it wrong, like you reverse the name of the website, it will take you to an adult entertainment website. So I am so fearful to send people, because if they type it wrong and they happen to like send the link to a kid, yeah, that's scarring. Um, yeah, so like I said, I will never recommend that site. Sorry, unless maybe she changed the name of the website, then we'll talk about it. But for me, it's not even a legitimate competitive site yet at this point because no one uses it. There's a bunch of artists on there, but from what I understood from these artists, they haven't really made any sales on it, and it probably a part of it is the website name. That being said, I will be so curious to see your guys' thoughts about this. And yeah, leave me a comment. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday.